Hey everyone, it's top 3 of part 1 of the Greenville edition of the 2025 Brewtubers Get-Together here in Greenville. And close it out, you know that guy behind me, or at least part of it. I know it's funny with the angle. That stormtrooper that you normally see in my intro, in my theme song, right here at Liability Brewing Company, because we have to do a flight from the legendary lunchbox flights here at Liability. So this is a very, very diverse flight right here. We're gonna start off with followers of the channel know of the previous editions of the 12 series I've done before. They're still doing it, and this is a red rye IPA called Red, R-E-D, Your Last Rites with a Y. So obviously red is significant to me, not just because I'm redhead, but because of my podcast, Red and Red Real Reviews. So I'll show that up to the camera. Obviously, you can see a little bit of light getting through it. It's a pretty nice red hue. I'm getting those burnt malty notes, although it's very, very subtle. It's not something that like you smell like, oh, burnt. You know, it's nothing like that. It's just noticeable enough that you know what it is, but it's not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. And there's a little bit of a sweetness to the aroma too, so cheers. The roasted maltiness really comes through in the flavor, like in a big, big way. Big, big, big way. Yeah, there's as far as the rye notes, I always liken rye notes to something bourbon, whiskey, that sort of thing. So it's there a little bit, but this is mostly in that red IPA, amber type of malty, roasty, almost burnt vibes type of sorts. We make up words here and not make the palmetto. You know you're big time when you refer to yourself in the third person. Anyway. Alright. We're going to do a little bit of a palate cleanse because next I have my favorite type of Pilsner. The Czech Pilsner. This is called Armchair Hipster, and everyone attending the get-together this summer will understand the greatness behind the names here at Liability. It's got a little bit of a cloudiness, so right on par for Czech Pilsner. There's that sweet bready aroma to it. Like kind of like that sourdough bread type of aromatics. So it's bready, it's sweet, it's very, very inviting. It smells like it's gonna have a nice body to it. Cheers. That is very, very light and approachable. So there is a strong bready quality to it. There's a little bit of sweetness to it, not anything super strong or overpowering, but it is a very noticeable note of sweetness. Noticeable note. And it's got a pretty solid body to it. Like, very, very noticeable body to it. I'm a big fan of that. It's kind of got more of a floral mouthfeel than a crisp mouthfeel. I can't say it's totally crisp, but it's definitely, all the flavors are present enough where you get them, but not so present that they're overpowering. Nice job on that one. All right, next one. This is a very, very important beer because it is called WNC. And if you're aware of just news and current events of the last 6-7 months or so, you know that Western North Carolina, and creeping a little bit into the upstate of South Carolina, but mostly Western North Carolina, experienced a bit of a storm that did some damage. So this is called the WNC IPA. hazy IPA, and proceeds of this beer go to help businesses in the Western North Carolina area rebuild from the hardships dealt from the hurricane. It is not a collaboration, but it is made from a lot of material and ingredients that were donated by local distribution, malt farms, that sort of thing in the area. So this is made from a lot of ingredients donated by businesses in Western North Carolina, and then of course proceeds go towards supporting the businesses that were ravaged and heavily affected by the storm, by Hurricane Helene. So, color-wise, it's got some. It looks a little darker on camera, but a fair amount of light gets through that. It's got a comparable color to that second IPA I had from Double Stamp in the previous video. This has a much more sweeter aroma though. Sweet orange, almost candied, like a candied fruit type of deal. So I'd say mostly orange, maybe peach, maybe shining those little fruit cups, that sort of sensation. But a lot of orange and quite sweet. Cheers, this is going to be very good, I think. That's very crushable. Yeah, this is extremely crushable for what it is. There's a very light palate. There's a very, very, very subtle piney note to the mouthfeel and the palate. Just enough to pick it up if you're attuned to that sort of thing, but it's not necessarily strong and certainly not overbearing by any stretch of imagination. Very approachable and extremely crushable. Solid job. I'm sure this has generated quite a bit of profit just from the fact that you can down a few of them with relative ease. Alright, this one, seasonal. You just saw one Irish Dry Stout offering from the previous brewery. Here's another one. And this, Teddy Boy Irish Dry Stout with mint. So, even though it's not green, it has elements of green in it, because obviously mint is green. Speaking of the color, I mean, it's pretty much on par with a dry stout. There's light getting through around the edge, so you can get some of those like amber, more caramelly tones of the hue. I'm okay. Let me preface this by saying I'm not a mint person by any stretch of imagination, but I appreciate when something's done well and when something's noticeable. When you say it's in the beer, you can notice it. The mint is very, very, very noticeable. And it is the only thing noticeable in the aromatics. So when you smell this and you see mint dry stout on the tap list, it's exactly what it is. Cheers. Oh, okay. That might just be because this is the fourth of 4 beers. It takes a second to come around, but the mint flavor is there. Very strong, very noticeable. It is slow building though. Even on the second sip, it was a little slow building. So it kind of comes in as just a softer, thinner, sweeter type of Irish dry stout. But let it sit around a little, let it marinate, and the mint notes come through very, very, very noticeably. This is a solid job of this. I'm not a mint fan, but I am enjoying every second of this because it is very, very well done. Shout out to Liability. They are one of the breweries in the area that are some of my closest friends, for sure. And that was a very, very excellent flight. There was a pickle sour, a Gouda on the menu that I really wanted, and I was kind of deciding between 2 or 3. Their bar staff kind of helped me narrow that down a little bit, steered me with the pickle sour. I still kind of want to try it, but I am not upset one bit from this selection. And I will see you around on the next go-around of this preview of the 2025 Brewtubers Get-Together from Greenville, South Carolina.